As discussed, we'll be like looking into correlation and regression right now. Okay, so correlation and regression is kind of little related concepts where both of the concepts explain us like or helps us to identify how the variables are related to each other in the data. Okay, so in correlation, we'll be like getting a correlation coefficient and number which ranges from -1 to 1, which explains the relationship. If the correlation coefficient is a negative, we can say that is a negative correlation, and if you can say this a the correlation coefficient is positive, we can say that it's a positive correlation. Okay, so when you say it's a positive correlation, when one variable increases, the other variable increases. Whereas a negative correlation, when one variable increases, the other variable decreases. Okay, when sometimes we get correlation around zero. Okay, in that cases, there is no correlation between the two different variables. When there is no relationship between the two different variables which is assigned. Okay, so the correlation coefficient ranges between -1 and 1. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to just like calculate a correlation between two different variables that we're going to generate. Okay, so I'm just randomly generating a data between -1 -10 until 10 with the difference 1. Okay, I'm just creating a sequence from -10 until 10 with the difference between each of the values 1. Okay, so we'll be having the values like -10, -9, -8 until 1. Okay, I'm sending it to X and I'm printing it to show you. Okay, and then I have Y which is equal to X squared. Okay, I'm printing it. So -10 squared is 100, -9 squared is 81. Okay, and it goes on. So now I'm just going to calculate a correlation. So for that we'll be using a COR. Okay, COR of X comma Y. So actually there are different types of correlation coefficients. I mean different types of methods used to calculate the correlation coefficient. Okay, so like Pearson method, Spearman's rank method. So in Spearman's rank method, all the data will be like ranked in an order, and then the correlation is calculated. And next is the Candle method. So when you just like give COR and the variable names, you'll be just getting the values based on the Pearson method. Okay, because that's the default method which is used by R. Okay, so here the correlation coefficient is 0. It means there is no relationship between X and Y variable. Okay, if you want to plot, you can really see that. Okay, so I have Y in my y-axis, X in the x-axis. So when Y decreases as X increases, but over a period of time it starts increasing. Okay, so you can't say there is a relationship at all. Okay, so actually this is a nonlinear equation, X equal to Y square. I mean Y equal to X square is a nonlinear equation, so there is no correlation. Okay, so when you so we can just like give method equal to Pearson, we'll be getting the same value 0. Spearman also it's actually 0. Okay, so you can also calculate correlation for a complete data set. Okay, so we'll be just using the empty card data set here. Okay, so we know how empty cards data set looks like. I'm just going to show you how the variables. There are 11 different variables, and everybody are in the numerical format. So actually, the correlation is computed, and as well as the regression is computed only for the numerical variables. Right? There should be numbers to calculate. Okay. So if your data set contains complete numbers, you can just go on with correlation. Okay. So here I'm trying to compute correlation for MPG and GEAR with the method Pearson. Okay. I'm printing it. So the value is 0.48. So which means there is a correlation, positive correlation. Okay. So when you have a correlation of is 1, it is a perfect correlation. Okay. So and if every increase, there is a every increase. Okay, because both of the time it's increasing. So it is 0.48. Okay, when you calculate in Spearman's method, it is 0.54. And for Kendall, it is 0.4. Actually, there will be different variations, but it's actually range from between 0.4 to 0.5. Okay, so when you just give correlation between MPG and gears without any method specified, it actually gets a Pearson value. Okay, you can see you get 0.48. That's 0.48 for Pearson. Okay. So let's try to like see how the correlation graphs looks like. Okay, so we were using corgram, remember? Okay, so I'm just like trying to create a empty cars correlation. Okay, so when I just like give car of empty cars for each of the values, so you'll get for each of the variables you're getting a correlation values. For the correlation between MPG and FPG, it's 1 because it's the same numbers, right? So it's a perfect correlation. Between CYL and MPG, it's a negative correlation. It's 0.18 minus 0.18. It's kind of perfect negative. You can't say it's perfect negative. It's 0.8 minus 0.8. It's going to be 1, right? And for display, it is 0. So displacement 0 point minus 0.84, and for HP it's 0.77. Okay, it gives a correlation between correlation coefficient between each of the variables. Okay, you can also like plot it and then see using a corgram that we've already seen, right? So this is how you calculate the correlation values for each of the variables in a data frame or in a data set. Okay, to visualize that, we use a packages corgram, which we have already discussed, or you can just use a package for each. Okay, so I'm just calling for corgram library and then creating corgram for empty cards. This we have already discussed, remember? So it just shows us like when MPG increases, SCYL decreases. There's a perfect kind of negative correlation. We saw it was around 0 0.8 minus 0 0.8, right? So that way it's negative. Okay, so when we just check the numbers with the graph here, you can see absolutely the same kind of relationship. Okay, because this numbers is only being visualized here. Okay, okay. So and if you want here, when you see there's no heading or mention, if you want to have the heading to be mentioned, the data name has to be mentioned. You can just give main equal to empty cars. So here you can just see the heading, and then you want the upper panel to be the pie. We already saw that, right? Upper panel to be pie in the pie shape. You can just give upper dot panel equal to panel dot pie, and if you want the lower panel to be shaded, actually which is already there, right? Or the lower panel to be shaded and the text panel. I mean, this is the text panel, okay? So this is to be mentioned. You actually this is how the entire code looks like. It's actually default, okay? So it will always the panel will be shaded and you'll be having the text. So this is the actual code that you should be using. Okay, see the output didn't change. Okay, okay, so here I'm trying to like create a graphs which I have already showed you. Okay, but I'm trying to create a correlation line graph. Okay, so for that you can just give type equal to L or type equal to line, both serves the same purpose. Okay, I'm trying to create a line graph for cylinder, and then I'm trying to create a line graph for MPG. Okay, so this we can like, try to understand the relationship. So I gave y limit equal to 0 comma 40. So it means the y-axis value will be between 0 to 40. Since we had only 30 entries, it's default. The index number will be like taken here. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the regression. So as you all know, the regression is also used to find out the relationship between variables. Here, you will be like getting a regression equation. Okay, you'll be getting an intercept. Okay, so you can able to create an equation in the format of y equal to a plus bx. Okay, so a is nothing but your intercept, and b is your slope. Okay, so you can also like form an equation through mean as well, but the most famous method is through least squares, y equal to a plus bx. Okay, so when you do that, actually I mean the major indicators to measure the regression values, intercepts, or coefficients is through what do you say, the residuals. So the residuals are nothing but the errors. Okay, so actually with you are trying to predict here, you're trying to predict a value. Okay, for given x, you're trying to predict a value of y. Okay, and then you when you like subtract the actual versus predicted, you get an error or a residual. Okay, so we always try to get the residuals to be very small. The summation of y minus y cap should be always small. Okay, so you'll be like studying all this when you like study linear regression in machine learning, but it's also like taught in basic statistics as well. Okay, so always the regression, the residual error, or residual or error, the regression error should be like very very small. Okay, okay. So the residual should be small. If the residual is very small, you always most of the times get the r square value is around 1. So this r square value should be like between 0 and 1. Okay, one is the perfect model. Okay, I'll show you how this looks like. Okay, so I'm going to calculate a regression value for MPG and cylinder in empty cast data set. Okay, so here you have to use LM. Okay, so I'm LM of MPG cylinder. Okay, so I'm just like putting it. I'm just getting the coefficients. Okay, so here the intercept is 37 and my slope is -2. Okay, so there's a negative correlation. Okay, so you can just print a summary to identify the r square and adjusted r square values. Okay, I'll just like show you how it looks like and just explain it so that like you can explore it later. I'm just going to brief you r square and adjusted r square. Okay, so here you can see you print it, you're getting the intercepts and slopes, but still here you're getting the multiple r square, which is your r square value. It is 0.72. Usually it should be like lying between 0 and 1. And 1, when you have 1, it says you have minimum errors. Okay, so the r square value is calculated by the formula SSR by SST. When you say SSR, it's a sum of squares of regression by sum of square of total. Okay, or it can be calculated by 1 minus SSE. I mean 1 minus SSE by SST. SSE is sum of square of error. So you're summing up all the errors and then divided by sum of total, and then you have to subtract the value from 1 to get the r square value. Okay, so adjusted r square is calculated by 1 minus r square into n minus 1 by n minus p minus 1. So here is r square is your r squared value. Actually, this adjusted r square is calculated through the r squared value. Okay, and n is nothing but your sample size, the number of rows you have. Okay, and p is the predictors. How much you are trying to predict. What you're trying to predict. Okay, it is always going to be the same. And then so this is how this adjusted r square is like calculated. Okay, so when you see this r square value, it always like explains how this variable cyl and mpg are related to each other. Okay, so the relationship is around 0.72, which means you can always add more variables. So when we're trying to identify the relationship between more independent variables with one more dependent variables with one independent variable. Okay, so more independent with one dependent, you can use this. Okay, in that case, r square and r squared comes into rescue to validate the model. Okay, so in that case, here the every single when you just look into the r square value, it thinks that it assumes that all the variables explains the relationship between the dependent variable. It always just assumes all the independent variables has a relationship with a dependent variable. So most of the times it will not be the case. Okay, so if there is no relationship, it will just leave it out. Whereas the adjusted r square, it penalizes if there is no relationship. Okay, if there is for example you have 10 variables and then only you have two variables which is not related to the dependent variable, it actually penalizes. Okay, so when you add one variable, for example, you have just like MPG and CYL here. So if you are adding more variables here, okay, we had displacement. If you are adding more variables and if there is no relationship here, it actually the adjusted R square values will decrease. And if there is no relationship, the R square value will be remaining the same. Okay, so to validate your variables, adjusted R square values are used. Okay, so you'll be when you dive deep into linear regression and multiple linear regression, you'll be studying all this. Okay, so just understand how it goes, and you can also like plot your regression here. So to plot, there are like four different plots that you can able to generate when you plot your regression. So you just have to hit enter to hit the first one. So it shows us your fitted values with residuals. I mean the errors. Okay. So here you're getting the actual values with the errors. Okay. So when you can see this, the errors were ranging between -5 to 5. Okay. So it gives us a Q plot. It gives us you the quantiles of the standardized residuals. And here you can get a square root. You have a square root of standardized residuals here. So it is between 0 to 1.5. And then here you have standardized residuals and leverage. Okay, so you'll be understanding this when you get into machine learning. Okay, so just think this is just a basic platform to explore more on multiple linear regression. Okay, when we're just studying a linear regression. Okay, so in this session we just like discussed what is correlation and how you can plot how can you obtain a correlation coefficient, how can you plot a corgram, um, and then what is regression, how can you like create a regression equation and then plot it, and just a glimpse on what is r square and adjusted r square.